All right, welcome to another edition of DMV Sports Show. I'm your host, Rasul McGee. You know how we do. It's Saturday. That's right. It's Saturday to hear the sports that you want to hear on your weekend. I'm your host, Rasul McGee. We got a plethora of news to get to. I'm not too happy. I'm not too sad. But I'm telling you, this is really horrible, and I'm certainly not glad. We got Washington Commanders, we have Washington Capitals, we have Washington Wizards, we have Baltimore Orioles, and also we have Maryland Terrapins playing right now. They're taking on Michigan State and Michigan. So, also, the call-in number is 512-543-4662. I say again for everybody who's listening, 512-543-4662. 662. Make sure you state your name for the record and who you represent, because we would love to hear your thoughts about your team. We're also going to talk about the breaking news that's just alarming the folks right now. Our new OC, our offensive coordinators, none other than. But before I get into that, make sure you subscribe to the Try 99 app, because you get to see us on Roku TV. That's right. Not only YouTube, but Roku as well. So make sure you do that. It's $4.99. Make sure you get that. Also, there's going to be the Super Bowl. That's right. We're going to get to the Super Bowl as well. So, for that said, let's start the show. So the breaking news just came out on the Waveway on my phone as well. I don't know how I feel about this, but I get to the panel. We should have the panel answer this, because the panel is also football related knowledge people. We get to know what's going on. We're going to talk about the Commanders' new head coach. It's not Ben Johnson. No, it's not Ben Johnson at all. Hey, it's not Ben Johnson. It's not Ben Johnson. It's not Ben Johnson. It's not Ben Johnson. It's not Aaron Glenn. It's not Eric Glenn. It's not Eric Glenn. It's not how can I say? It's somebody that we never ever thought it would ever take that long to actually become head coach. And what I mean, folks, is bothering me. His name is Dan Quinn. Yes, Dan Quinn, the former Falcon, former Dallas Cowboy defensive head coach, and now he is the head coach of the Commanders. Now, keep in mind, folks, he was the head coach of the Falcons that went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Patriots at the 1-yard line. He had the best defense. He had a really good offense, and they did pretty well, but they didn't come with the W. Also, he was the head coach. He was the defensive coordinator of the best defense in Seattle in the Legion of Boom. Now, 20 plus years of coaching experience, folks. Is that a staple for being a head coach? He had a losing season, so did the Patriots. The Patriots came back and won their 5th ring after the 2 debacles of the Deflategate and their cheating. But the Patriots won. Dan Quinn did not. Dan Quinn has a winning history. He's 43-42. He's 1 game above 500. That's a winning season. But is it what we need? Me, I was against it. Then I had to look at his history. I had to look at the statistics. And the numbers don't lie, folks. The numbers do not lie. This man has a winning history. Look what he did with the defense of Dallas. Look what happened to Dallas in the playoffs. They got crushed. We were laughing, now we're crying. Please help me find out what's going on. But now here's the new breaking news, folks. The new breaking news is Keith Kingston is now going to be the offensive coordinator. How you doing? This is Coach.
How you doing, Coach?
This is Coach, and we have Big Steve in here to help us out.
It's been a rough week.
It's been a whirlwind of tornadoes hitting the. So help us out. I would like for everybody to call in. The call-in number is 512-543-4662. I say again, for the Commanders Nation here, it's 512-543-4662. Make sure you state your name for the record and who you represent. So we got Big Steve here. We have Coach here.
I have that on Monday.
So I was just talking to myself. Welcome to the DMV Sports Show. I'm your host, Rousseau McGee. We got a plethora of news. Just line up just for you. We're going to talk about the Washington Commanders. We're going to talk about the Washington Wizards. We're going to talk about the Baltimore Orioles, the Washington Capitals, also Maryland Terrapins, who are taking on a Michigan State right now in Michigan as a rematch of what happened at College Park. We're also going to discuss a whole plethora of things like the Super Bowl. And we're also going to talk about the Baltimore Orioles currently new owner, folks, new owner has just taken place on Wednesday. But now we get to talk about the old owner. But before we get to that, we got to talk about the breaking news. The breaking news is we have a new head coach and a new OC. We have the new head coach, not Aaron Glenn, not Brad Johnson, not Ben Johnson, not Brad Johnson, Brian Johnson. No, none of the Johnsons, none of the Jackson Fives either. We are talking about Dan Quinn, folks. Yes, the former head coach of the Falcons, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and yes, he was the former defensive head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. Yes, the same ones that call themselves the Legion of Boom. Yes, this guy was there, plus 20 years of football experience. He was there when Logan Paulson in Seattle. In the Falcons when he was there. So he was there when Kyle Shanahan was in Seattle. Atlanta. I keep forgetting. But here's the problem I had, folks. The problem I have is, does that equate to a W? Well, let's look at his statistics. He is by far a winning coach. He has one game above 500. He had a winning defense in Seattle for years, folks, years. But he wasn't a head coach. He was a defensive head coach. So he does have some defensive credibility there. But offensively, he did had some sort of success in Atlanta that went to the Super Bowl. But does that equate to a W? Again, I can only give what his record states. Yes, one game above 500, 43-42. He's not a Bill Belichick. He is not a Pete Carroll. He is not, by far, any other coach other than himself. But he does run a conventional 4-3 that is more powerful than any other 4-3 I know under Richie Pettibone. So I'm partially liking that defensive nature with him. Look what he did with Dallas. Dallas was on fire until the playoffs, but they wasn't doing anything with Parsons. So that's not on him. That's on Parsons. So I'm feeling a little bit better on the defensive side. Offensively, we get Keith Kingsbury, OC, former Arizona Cardinal. head coach as the OC. Now, here's what I know about Keith. Keith is his offensive is an air raid offense. Now, what is that? That's fundamental
and he's gonna bring, like I said, the offense and the defense is his. He can bring anybody he wants to, you know.
But see, the problem I had.
I think he should bring an assistant.
Well, here's my thing. Coach at mine, head coach. I said previously, remember, I said it previously that we needed a defensive head coach, and I stayed in there by that whole idea because we do not need an offensive head coach, and because you see Ron Rivera and how that went along, that didn't go somewhere, so we need a defensive head coach. Sure enough, you should ask and you shall receive. And there you go. He popped up. I didn't expect him. I was more looking at, Pete Carroll, because Pete Carroll used to be a defensive-minded head coach when he was at USC, and offensive head coach. But it kind of worked out both ways. If you think about this, Pete Carroll is what? USC alum. Who did he have in the Legion of Boom? Dan Quinn. So therefore, I did get what I want, but it wasn't Pete Carroll. But I did not wish for Dan Quinn. But he I don't know how to feel about this. That's why I'm partially torn. You know why? This is why. Because Dan Quinn offensively, when he was with the the Falcons, did pretty well. But he wasn't strong enough, right? He didn't put fear into players, teams' mind when you come to Atlanta, we're gonna punish you, right? He didn't get hot. He didn't get hot until the end of the regular season. That's when everything started to look. Oh, they look dangerous. But that's when you get hot right there. But they got hot like in November to December. We need to be hot September into December, so the momentum carries over. They didn't have that hot streak until the end, and then they were struggling. And what was that game? Was that the game against the Saints? They lost to, and everybody was talking about how the refs Or was that no?
Well, yeah, it was an upset in my book.
Yeah, so
Me too.
that game was more of I think it was
Like
the
a
Rams.
wake up.
Yeah, that game was more of like we better get into a really good rhythm and get to the Super Bowl. And sure enough, they won it late fourth quarter. So that was a pretty good game in the playoffs. My thing is that if Dan Quinn is this head coach who's supposed to have been a winning head coach, which he is, if he takes this team, installs the principles in this team like they should, have a good nucleus of coaches around them defensively, and get these talented players on defense playing like they know the X's and O's, then I would change my whole idea about this head coach, about Kif Kinsley. What I want to see.
But you got to keep in mind, we're going to be getting in rookies.
But these rookies are going to have high football IQs. So I have no problem with the rookies not understanding, because we're going to have coaches. In my opinion about Dan Quinn, he's going to have a whole nucleus of football-minded coaches and trainers. And see, this is what worries me, because we said the same thing about Ron Rivera, and look what Ron Rivera did. He gambled away both basically two of our best player, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of reserved until I see.
Well, why were they saying that was because of the capital for the team, for the money?
Well, see, they're not going to tell you the truth, because not only was that what happened, even look what the 49ers are doing now. They're benching Chase Young for not producing. So we just got another caller. This is the man from co-host of the Hand Sports Show, none other than Louis Tenor. How you doing, Lou?
Yeah.
I'm back. This connection is killing me. But anyway, here's what I was going to ask Lou and everybody on the panel here. I heard what Coach said. Lou, he was your defensive head coach. He did everything during the regular season. Do you believe this head coach, just like Coach said, do you believe he's the better fit for the Commanders?
Which coach are we referring to?
Dan Quinn.
Yeah,
Well,
do you think he'll fit in?
I don't know. I mean, Quinn has a reputation, with teams before, and of course the last one. But then again, he couldn't do much worse than what he did for the last few seasons. So it's kind of a toss-up.
See
So,
that
I wish Quinn.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Save the Commander's skin. Because they do need changes in the front office, need changes in the lineup as well.
see
So,
see that comment right there just gives me more pause of why we hired this guy. Now here's another thing, right? I went and before the show started, I do my research. I go and take my notes. I go mentally and plan out what I'm going to say. So I go into YouTube, and you know what I see? I see the former players who were on the fields: Fred Smoot, Logan Thompson, Santana Moss, London Fletcher, right? All saying the same things. Here's where I know everybody in that building is watching all the fans and what they're saying about this hire. Now, keep in mind, folks, the press conference is going to be on Monday, right? Monday. Keep in mind what they're going to say. They just said in the live that why are not the fans excited about Dan Quinn? And they kept hold on, Marilyn, you're gonna love this answer, and then I'm gonna get your point. They have said, and London Fletcher was asked this previously yesterday, and London Fletcher turned to the camera and said, "Trust the process." I said, "What? Are you touting the 76ers when they started out 0-14 in NBA? You're going to trust the process?" No. The Spurs didn't do that when they had Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker. They were winning games right off the bat. They didn't do that when the Buccaneers had Warren Sapp. We still have Warren Sapp on our team.
Yeah.
So trusting the process, you better come in here and win some games. You don't trust the process, me.
I'm sorry. That's not common sense.
No, exactly. You can listen. I know Joe Harris is the former owner of the 76ers, but you just don't come here and blast that saying, because this trust the process doesn't mean squat here. We trust the process last year with Ron Rivera. You see how that went? No. Game 1, win that game. Game 2, go on a hot streak until we reach game 5. We should be 5-0. Once 5-0 hit, then we might lose one. That's fine. We better win the next one.
If we hadn't had under, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
I knew something was going on.
But
I knew it.
here's my thing about Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson reneged on that because they lost to the 49ers. And they felt they should have beaten the 49ers, but they got what? They got too complacent and lost. They fumbled here. The running back fumbled and lost the game. So they want to go back. So they believe that they just built something very new with the Lions. So Ben Johnson is returning to the team. Here's another thing.
Let's say one more thing. I gotta say it.
Go ahead.
The owner, the new owner for the Lions, and they said it took them 3 years before they got up to the point where they were in the playoffs.
Well, see, here's the thing about them.
And that was good, though.
Yeah, but here's the difference between us and them. They didn't have the talent. They still don't have the talent. They just have quality players that plugged into a position and they made it happen. I think the quarterback made it possible for them to win. And then you had the coaches. What? You had the coaches telling the players where to go, how to be. so that way they'd be 1,000% ready for the next game. Those coaches in the Lions are high quality coaches. What they don't have is high quality talent on the field. They just have dudes who were just 1,000% good in their college. That's all they got. We, on the other hand, we have talent on both ends of the spectrum. We have talent in the football defense, offense, a little bit on special teams, but we have the talent. We just didn't have quality coaches. We didn't have high quality coaches. Ron Rivera did not have a high quality coach. You know, he had Jack Del Rio. That's who he had. Somebody who was not qualified to be defensive head coach. We had OC and Eric Bieniemy. He was good until no, I'm sorry. Let's rewind. We had Scott Turner. Scott Turner was good, but he kept doing the same play because our defense wasn't that good, right?
Right.
So what happened after that? We got rid of Scott Turner and brought in Eric Bieniemy. Now we had a really good OC, but a horrible defense. Because the man right there did not give two squats about tomorrow. He said, we're going to run the same play. You're going to just do what I tell you to do. And look what happened. We out of the playoffs. So they got rid of him. And then Ron Rivera said, give me that playbook. I'll run the defense. And he couldn't even do it. So we didn't have really good coaches. We just have really good talent. Now, if he's the guy to bring the talent. What's that, Lou?
What's wrong with talent?
True. There's nothing wrong with talent. The more talent we have, the more positive feedback we get. Now, OC, Eric Bieniemy is gone. He's looking for another job. He might go to the Bears. The Bears wanted him from day one. Now we get Keith Kinsley, who has a balanced offensive attack. I don't know how that's going to help us, but I'm pretty sure that Antonio Gibson is going to be used more in this offense, and I think, and he's you're right, he should be, and I think Scary Terry is going to get more catches, right? What I'm most concerned about,
he should.
I think we should move
just from those films. They should have used him a lot more.
Well, see, the reason why he wasn't used more because teams were doubling Scary Terry.
Doubling up on him.
Yeah, so they were they were in nickel. And sometimes they would use 3-3-4, where they had linebackers covering that area. They went to nickel, they went to dime. And when you go to dime, you have more DBs covering, so you can have that cover two effect. Here's where I had a problem with the play calling, because there was gaps in the A and B gap where you could run the football. Guess who didn't run through them?
Especially in the middle.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying, Coach. There was a big gap in the middle of the field. Everybody was doubling on everybody. If we would have had Cole Turner in the game who could actually stretch the field, or John Bates, we would have got him the football and got a first down. No, we used wide receivers. Linebackers were blitzing. This is how you stop the blitz. Use the tight ends, use the big tight ends, and you'll get a first down. John Bates could have done a bracket route and caught the football, because that's how wide open that gap was. Now, we didn't have a traditional running back. We had put Antonio Gibson in a running back mode and tried to use him on every down. We got Brian Roberts, but Brian Roberts got stripped of football every single time because you kept using him in a really horrible way. You cannot use him when you have a 4-man rush, right? And this man is actually trying to run through the gap where they just hold him and try to strip the ball. They've been doing that all game long. Held him up. Yo, get the ball. Get the ball. Yeah, he fumbled. Get the ball. Get the ball. And then push him to the ground and get the ball. He comes back, sit down frustrated.
You got to secure the ball.
Well, you can't secure the ball when they're holding you. You can't secure the ball when they have you in the lap, right? And they stripping him and he can't touch the ground. And they got his hand in there. He's like, yo, they got their hand in there. And no lineman is actually pushing them down, put them down. You could push the pile. I mean, push everybody down so he can get on the ground. You just don't sit there and go, oh, they really getting to the football. Hey, look, he's getting to the football. Wow. Oh, there goes the football. Oh, wow.
Well, that's why we need a line, and we need one to protect that quarterback.
That's true.
Whoever is going to be running that ball.
And if we get Killsbury, we're going to do that. But I have a small feeling. This is just my feeling. I have a small feeling we may trade for the Chicago Bears quarterback and then get
please. Oh no, don't do this.
And then get what you call him, son from Ohio State, get him as the wide receiver, and we be a dangerous team.
Well, Steve, Big Steve. I really hate that idea. We don't need Fields because Fields is not that good. Yes, he was fantastic against us. I get that. But overall, this guy is horrible. We should have got C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud is on fire. We should have got him. But no, we settled for who? Sam Howell.
No, what happened was that the former Maryland quarterback that was the coach, he wanted Stroud. But with his owner picked the other guy. And guess what? It cost him his job.
Well, okay, so
right.
So here's what
I wouldn't mind having Quinn Wright as a quarterback coach.
I don't know who we're gonna get in the draft, but I'm pretty sure it has to be Michael Penix. Because
it might be Daniels.
I don't
know. Be a quarterback. If we get Kingsbury, what's the guy from USC is coming here. What's out there either one.
But Caleb doesn't want to be here. Caleb does not want to. He gets pressed.
If Kingsbury come here, believe me, he would love to play for his former coach. Yes, he would.
I don't know, bro. I just feel like.
Yes, he will.
I'm just saying. I feel like if Michael Penix is at 2, which he will be, and Caleb is at 2.
He could be picked by the Saints. That's why I have a problem with.
I don't know. I don't know. The Saints are going to pick Penix. I think the Saints are going to go after the quarterback of North Carolina. I think they're going after him.
Nah, he's going to be before that. He's going to be
They can do better than that.
The Saints,
we can do better than that.
No, because you see what happened when the quarterback of the Saints didn't do what the coach said and scored a touchdown. He's going to be the one who stole the crowd at the corner store. He's going to be gone.
Yo, I'm going to tell you like this. I'm seeing exactly what's going on. Number 1 pick is not going to be a quarterback. They're going to stick with Fields. I'm going to let you know. They're going to go wide. They're going to go offense because they didn't really have a really good offense. They didn't have an offensive line. They're going to go offense. And that
they need to go with Marvin Harrison, though.
Yeah,
if I was Chicago, I would go with Marvin Harrison.
They're going to get Marvin Harrison. That's what I'm saying. They're going to go with Marvin Harrison.
But I have a feeling they're going to trade Fields to us, and then we're going to pick Marvin Harrison.
No, I don't think we're getting Fields. There's no way we're getting Fields. There's absolutely no way in this world that Dan Quinn is going to trade for that guy to be here. No, that's not going to happen. What's going to happen is Dan Quinn is going to evaluate the offense and defense and special teams. And when he's looking at offense, his staple point is he likes overstuffed 300-pound dudes. So he's going to either go for the Penn State guy, he's going to go for the quarterback, he's going to go for the
linebacker.
linebacker. Absolutely.
The top linebacker in the.
We're gonna need 2 DEs.
The top linebacker is not to after the 10th round, so he may go for the top linebacker because we don't have nothing.
But see, here's the we got him in Davis.
Bring the frick. Never mind.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead, because you already mentioned it. Go ahead and say it.
You bringing in the coaches, don't bring the players from the Cowboys, okay?
That's what I'm saying. I don't want.
Right there,
folks. Let me wait. You know what, Coach? I have to make a plea to the NFL family around the world. Coach had just said what was a beautiful taken. I agree with her and I co-sign it. Please, NFL, do not let this man dip into the Dallas pool to bring. I'm sorry, Lou. I have to do this. It's for my own good. Please do not dip into the Dallas pool to bring it over here to fill the holes. We have youngsters that deserve to play. We have players, undrafted players. We have former free agents. We can deal with them. Please leave the Dallas team alone. They suffered enough.
No, but here's
yeah, they have suffered.
He may trade for that Prescott because he got traded out for the Cowboys.
Big Steve, what are you doing? Why are you saying this out loud, man? Are you all right?
It could happen.
No, Big Steve. No, not on air. I'm going to get hate mail, bro.
He got one more year on his contract.
No, not this year. Maybe next year.
So he's going to come here. He could come here because they trade for Trey Lance. You know what?
We could get you, look, bro.
Another guy from 2 years ago.
Big Steve.
So are you going to change OT to Dallas? I'm leaving.
Hey, Commander. Give us Prescott for the number 1 pick.
No. Okay, Big Steve. We're gonna put down your water bottle. Whatever in it, do not drink again. This is what happened. This is what happened when you did last time when you partied too much, man. We're gonna have to check your drink last. Here's where I agree with you on. If Dak is a free agent, then we'll go for him. We're not trading for Dak. But if we can get Trey Lance, we'll trade for Trey Lance. I'm okay with Trey Lance, but we're not getting Dak in a trade. Never. Because this organization, known as the Cowboys, need what? Picks. We do not want to trade picks with the Cowboys because the picks.
That's right.
No, Big Steve, that's blasphemy. You're yelling. No.
We had Mr. Chunky Soup, and what did he do for us? Now, one thing.
Bro, we're not getting Dak in a trade.
Never mind.
No, man. Do you listen, bro? Listen. We have a lot of picks that we need to revamp this team. We're not going to waste it on Dak Prescott or Micah Parsons to bring them over. We're not even going to get Ferguson, the tight end, over here. They need players.
No, we ain't taking Prescott.
No.
You know how much Parsons gonna want. Because Dallas, they put him at defensive end. Linebacker is more money, and he's something to think. Look, you can't put that thing to the end because that's like $20 million less than I'm getting. So no, put me at linebacker. If you don't, I'm going to the highest price team, and guess who that is?
But what you're saying, okay. Here, let's.
Where, what?
Wait, hold on, Coach. Let me say this, and I'm gonna let you speak. Here's what I'm saying, Steve, and I want you to understand. I understand what you're saying. All right, I get the value of Dak. Understand that he's unhappy. So it's Micah Parsons. But here's where you got to understand the business side of it, and I'm pretty sure you have a understanding of what this organization wants. When Dan Quinn is hired on Monday, and we have OC Kiff Kingsley, they're not going to want Dak Prescott behind center. They're not going to want Micah Parsons on the other side. You know why? Because there's a high price that Dallas wants, right? And to get those two, we're sacrificing everything that we were getting at the end to get to number 2, right? to get those two individuals from Dallas doesn't mean we're crippling them. We're crippling ourselves because we're ripping away picks. Right. So we're taking picks.
No, they free agency. Next year, Austin and Prescott gonna be free agents.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only way we can get them.
Remember, I told after that a couple years ago, Dallas gonna put themselves in payroll hell, which they gonna be doing next year because they got a whole bunch of people.
What Big Steve was saying, he did not say he didn't say HELL hockey sticks. He said heel.
Steve,
yes.
think about Dak Prescott and throwing to Scary Terry.
That is nice. Oh, and don't forget CD Lamb.
Okay, now you're tapping into forbidden land. Dallas fans, let me explain. Big Steve was not talking about taking away your most prized possession, CD Lambs, because that's not going to happen. What he was suggesting is CD Lamb might not be happy, which he is because he broke several records of the Cowboys. But we're not going to sit there and let Big Steve take your prized possession away. No, he was just suggesting. So back to what we were saying, Steve, and I understand what you're saying, and you're getting hyped, okay? And I get your hypeness, but you have to understand the financial prospects of Dallas. Dallas is not just going to simply trade their players to us.
Dallas out of this.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Please.
They're not going to be free agents.
It to be our team.
Thank you.
I want to destroy the Cowboys at any means necessary.
And you're hurting Lou's feelings. He's a Cowboy fan, Darsh Garnet. You can't.
I'm sorry. Hey.
Yo.
Just remember who did worse. My Cowboys and your Commanders.
There you go. See, he didn't like the trade. See what you did, Steve? He didn't like the trade that you proposed. Okay, so so we got 6 minutes to go. I'm gonna try to get through this, and then we're gonna go back to the Commanders because that's always a hot topic. So the Wizards lose to Miami 112 to 102. Oh yeah, 112 to 102. Losing by 10 points. The Wizards are not going to get any better. They're now 9-39. I already have them losing 61 games already, so they're halfway there. Going further, the Baltimore Orioles finally got sold, people, to a Baltimore philanthropist, business billionaire by the name of Dan RUBNSEIN. Yes, David RUBNSEIN is a philanthropist and a Baltimore native. And Peter Angelos. Yeah, I'm very happy because Peter Angelos has been sick for 6 years. He's 91. He's not going to survive. This man is on his deathbed. This is the year. He's not going to survive. I wish him all the best in the world and his family. I'm deeply saddened by him being ill. I wish his family to, stand by side him and comfort him in his last days of this illness. Moving fast, we had just improved our pitching, our hitting, and yes, folks, Brendan Hyde is willing to go back to the playoffs and go to the World Series this season, folks. Yes, we are going to return back to the 101 game winning streak this season. So this is going to be fun. We just got a Cy Young winner in the process. We got.
Ain't Cal ripping a part of that ownership?
Yes, he is, Big Steve, and that's why I'm 1,000.
Somebody else too.
I don't know who it is. It's somebody else who's the football player. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's RG3. I think it's somebody else. I think it is RG3. I think RG3. It is RG3. Yes, RG3 is a Baltimore Orioles owner. Dude, Yo, I'm gonna get a jersey. I'm gonna get some gloves. I'm gonna go pitch. No, I'm sorry. DMV fans, I am sorry. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna leave y'all. Y'all are awesome. I don't want to pitch. I'm sorry. No, that would be cool to see me on the mound and then be like, "Aren't you supposed to be behind a microphone?" My fault. I'm sorry. Let me go back. 3 minutes to go. So listen, Maryland's taking on Michigan State right now. I don't know the score, but I tell you what, we're gonna win this game. Maryland's gonna win. I have a prediction. We're gonna win. All right, so let's go. We're gonna go around. Since we have three, we're gonna go around the table and say who's gonna win, Michigan or Maryland. Big Steve, who you got in the Michigan Maryland game?
I got Maryland. I went to school there.
See, you know Steve is not going to go against that team he went to school with. What you got,
That's
Coach?
pretty cool.
Yeah,
I got Maryland.
I went to school with Bull Miller Salsa and Frank Wright.
That's what's up.
Oh, Michigan, that, you know, up north.
Lou, what you got?
I'll go with Michigan.
Man, you always going against my Maryland Terrapins.
Lou is always doing the opposite.
No, you know what? Lou is a gambler and he always wins 50% of the time. You know, he's on high stakes. He plays with that dice and Russian roulette.
Oh, I like Ohio State. They're cool.
Ohio State shocked me because they're not really basketball, they're not known for their basketball. They're known for the football. So this is actually pretty shocking. And Iowa is now in the Big Ten. And they are getting good. They are getting good, but they're not really good yet, but they are getting good. So with that being said, it's 2 minutes to go. So we can actually have one more question. And I will ask the panel to ask me a question. So that way, they have any questions about sports. So go ahead. We'll go with Coach, and then Lou, and then end it with Big Steve.
What? Now, wait a minute.
What you waiting for? What you mean?
What?
Okay, we'll go with Lou, then you, and then Steve. Is that okay?
All right.
All right, cool. What you got, Lou?
Yeah, well, do you think the Knicks can beat the Lakers and make it 11 straight wins? Because this has become phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
for a long time.
Without a doubt, the Lakers are going to lose to the Knicks because the guy Brunson scored 40 points in one game. Yeah, they don't have nobody to question him because remember, Reeves beat everybody with no LeBron and no AD. So yeah, I think Knicks are going to win. All right, Coach.
I'm thinking about the Warriors, and I'm wanting them to get back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do want them to come back. I like.
Well, they lost in overtime.
But I like the Lakers too.
Oh wow!
To a point.
To a point.
To a point.
Okay. Well, I don't think the Lakers are going to get into any type of rhythm. The Warriors.
But the Warriors. I'm with.
Okay.
Now, when Kobe was alive, I was with the Lakers.
Yeah, I was with the Lakers too.
I am with the Warriors. I am.
Okay. I think the Warriors are going to get back to the high street. I think that what they do is they have their downfall at this time, so they're going to get back into it. One more question, and I got to go. What's up, Big Steve?